There's been a lot of research done on making first impressions. I mean, studies have shown that first impressions are made anywhere from 1/10 of a second all the way up to 7 seconds. But it's not just meeting somebody for the first time where you're making a first impression. It could also be looking at a photo. And this is why it's so important to have a photo on your LinkedIn profile, because it's the first thing that hiring managers and HR people and recruiters are all going to see when they're searching for candidates out there, and especially in the hidden job market. I mean, studies have shown that over 70% of recruiters alone will use LinkedIn to source candidates when there's an opening. So it's really important. But here's the question that a lot of my clients that are in mid to late career, over 40, over 50, over 60, and they're worried about age discrimination, and they're asking me, they say, well, should I put a photo on my LinkedIn profile because I know age discrimination can't exist out there, and I'm worried that if they see how old I am, they're not going to even want to call me in for an interview or go much further than that. And here's my answer to this concern. No, you always want to have a photo on LinkedIn. And here's the reason why. There's been a number of studies out there that have been done by LinkedIn where it shows that 21 times less likely a person, and I'm talking about a recruiter or a hiring manager, HR person, will even click on an individual's LinkedIn profile if they don't see a photo. And then other studies have shown that I think it's up to 9 times less likely that you're going to get a connection request, 34 times less likely you're going to get a message. So it's really super important to have a photo out there. But what do you do if you're an older person and you're worried about, how you're going to come across, how you're going to look? Well, here's the answer. You want to make that photo as perfect as you can. And that's what I want to talk with you about in today's video. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Bill Benoist. I'm a certified professional career coach here in Silicon Valley, and I primarily work with individuals in mid to late career. And I got some tips for you if this is something that you're concerned about. You're an older worker, you want to put a photo up there on LinkedIn, but you just want to maximize it to the best that you can. Number one is your eyes. So, it goes without saying, don't have sunglasses on or anything like this. It's going to hide your eyes. But here's a little trick, and that is to just squint a little bit. Just squint a little bit. It actually shows a little bit more likability to you, and that's something that's going to be really super important. So, keeping your eyes wide open like this can actually be a little bit creepy, but just a little bit of a squint, it just shows your friendliness, and it's going to go a long way for you. Number two is actually the face itself. So if you look at a lot of professional headshots out there on Google, there's a famous headshot photographer, his name is Peter Hurley. I'll even put a link to his website in the notes section below. But if you look at these professional headshots, usually what you'll see is that the face comes a little bit forward, and the face is actually, or the chin is actually tilted down, and in some cases even tilted one way or the other. And what it's doing is it's not only hiding this area here, which is not really the most attractive, but actually it's creating a little shadow effect there, which actually is going to be working in your favor. Take a look at some of the professional headshots and you'll see what I mean. The face is a little forward and the chin is down, and it's often tilted just a tiny bit just to create the shadow effect there. So that's another tip for you. Here's another one, and that's the actual area of your face itself. You don't want a close-up, but you also don't want to be so far back. A head and shoulders is your best bet out there. So, maybe from about here up with the headshot is going to fill that entire frame. Don't go, massively close to the camera, but don't go too far away either. Dress, and this is, I think, super important, dress the part. I mean, if you are, in fact, I would even suggest going one level up from the part. So for example, if you're a software engineer and the standard dress code is a polo shirt and jeans in the office, and if you are doing a headshot, you don't have to really worry about the, the trousers, the pants, or anything. But what I would suggest is if it's a polo shirt, then wear a nice button-down shirt. If you're in an environment, let's say a project manager or something, and usually you're wearing a nice button-down shirt, then put a tie on. Just go maybe one step up from that actual position. Will work for you. Smile. Cannot stress how important this is. Again, you want to show your likability and your compatibility. I talk about this in a lot of videos. It's your resume that validates your competence. It's the phone screen that validates your competence. But when you go into the interview, it becomes more about likability and compatibility. So, granted, you haven't gone through the phone screen or anything yet. You can't really show your competence too much. Well, actually you can, and I'm going to get to that tip in just a second, but you can show your likability in the LinkedIn photo. So definitely smile a little bit. The next thing I want to talk about is high color saturation. So this can happen, in bright lit conditions, especially outside, but also in darker conditions. So you want a very neutral tone to the background of this color saturation. And actually, I thought this was kind of fascinating. I did not know this until I actually started researching these tips. Black and white headshot photos, they actually work the same. I would have thought that maybe a little bit of a, less likelihood that somebody would be clicked on, but actually they work just the same there. But again, you still have to, keep in mind the other considerations about, the eyes, the smile, the tilting of the head, the jawline, such like that. But black and white will work fine. But if you are going with color, which most people do, just avoid high color saturation. So be careful about that. And that actually moves me on to the next tip, and that is really suggest that you have someone take the photo yourself. Don't try to do it on your selfie, because what's happening is when you're taking a selfie here to post on LinkedIn, you're actually using the front camera, and it's just, these iPhones, the smartphones, they don't have the best front camera. The back camera is actually better, but then you can't really see yourself. I would advise that you have someone else take the photo. And, this is really, especially if you're in career transition, you're looking for another job, I really advise you get a professional headshot out there. They're going to, take care of a lot of this stuff for you. So my final tip is actually using a website called PhotoFeeler. And I did a video on this a while back. I'll put a link to it in the upper right-hand corner, as well as putting a link to it in the notes section below this video. But PhotoFeeler, you can upload a photo to this website, and there's different categories. There's business, there's social, there's dating. You want to use the business one, and you will get individuals, up to 20 individuals, that will anonymously rate your photo based upon 3 different areas: likability, influence, and competence. Remember, I just talked about competence. So you can see, does your photo actually show your competence? Does it show your likability? Does it show your influence out there? First photo, it's free, and then they will charge you $9, I believe, but don't hold me to this because things change all the time. I did this with my LinkedIn profile photo. I think I spent about $27, and I just took, all the feedback that I got, and I went ahead and uploaded the photo that I thought, got the best results from it. So these are my tips for perfecting your LinkedIn photo, primarily targeting individuals in mid to late career who are, afraid of showing their age, but really these tips will work for all ages out there. I hope you found this video informative and useful. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell notification, as I do upload new tips and strategies every Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week.